What has been your most successful failure? And by that, I mean at the time seemed like a devastating loss that you weren't going to be able to recover from, but you were able to take life lessons from that and use those to propel you to greater success further down the road.
It's a great question.
And it doesn't have to be, it could be professional, personal, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say when I was 21, I was about to start my senior year of college. And I had owned my own personal training business. I was teaching group fitness classes. I was studying exercise science. I was doing personal training. I'm about ready to start my senior year, but like my whole life is based around fitness. I was competing in fitness competitions, and at the blink of an eye, I almost lost my leg in a jet ski accident. I got into a really bad accident. And at that time, my 21-year-old self saw my entire life, my entire identity, everything that my life had been built around was fitness. And I saw it come crashing down. Like in a split second, it was gone. Like I saw my future. I was like playing out this story in my head of like, I'm sitting here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my leg or not. That's how bad the injury and the accident was. And I'm going into emergency vascular surgery to fix the severed artery. And I'm like, just forecasting out, seeing all of these things, seeing my life be completely different than how I had envisioned it. And that accident and that experience, it did lead to like this downward cycle of a deep depression and gaining 30 pounds and getting into an abusive relationship and getting involved in drugs and alcohol as like a coping mechanism through it all, to the point where I was like, my life had gone from all that success that I was having to literally being homeless, selling drugs in a period of like 18 months. And that quote unquote failure has also been one of the greatest catalysts to my upward transformation and to achieving what I have over the course of the next 6 to 7 to now it's been almost 10 years, 9.5 years since that accident happened. But that 18 months, my whole life fell apart. And sometimes I believe that we experience things and we go through things in life so that, things fall apart, and what felt like a failure, what felt like I had really taken my life down this negative path. But now I have this depth and breadth of experience that is one of my superpowers. It's like my ability to connect with such a range of people, from the person that's homeless on the streets that's involved in partying and drugs and alcohol to the CEO of the company and everything in between. And that's a superpower that I now have. But at the time it felt like a failure. At the time it felt like my life had fallen apart. And I'm grateful that I experienced it, because it just gave me so much life lessons and wisdom and emotional control and resiliency and just so much that I could not have ever I couldn't have gotten those character skills without experiencing what I experienced.
Yeah. And the fact that you experienced it at such a young age so that you can take that through the rest of your life like that. And I think that's where most of the growth happens, is when you kind of strip away that veneer and kind of get to what's underneath, or sometimes even go to those dark places. So